Humans have always been curious about what lies beneath the oceans. Since the dawn of time, we humans have set sail for other shores in search of exotic cultures and exciting experiences. Without a shadow of a doubt, the oceans are vast and mysterious. Water makes up nearly all of Earth's surface. Therefore, it is not surprised that individuals have found some rather strange things when exploring them. This time, however, the Navy and tech guru Elon Musk have made a discovery so terrible that they had to tell the world about it. How strange are the things that Navy deep-sea divers have found? What does Elon Musk intend to do with this information? Come with us as we investigate how Elon Musk reveals the findings of Navy deep-sea dives. Welcome to Spaceverse, your portal to the wonders of the universe. Prepare for a deep dive into the mysteries lurking beneath the ocean's surface and the astonishing revelations that Musk has to share. But before we dive into the details, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on the latest space discoveries and updates. Alright, let's get started. More than 70% of Earth's surface is covered by the global ocean, a massive saltwater body. However, scientists have categorized the body of water into four main oceans: the Great Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, and Arctic Seas. A fifth member was just added. On June 8, 2021, National Geographic officially recognized the Southern Ocean as the fifth ocean. How many different kinds of marine life exist has long been a mystery to scientists. There are around 226,000 known marine species at this time. Pollution, rising sea temperatures, and other threats to marine ecosystems are blamed by some for the plight of many marine species. Despite this, scientists are constantly finding new types of life, and it is estimated that there are between 100,000 and 1 million species that have not yet been discovered. We have even found some of their mysterious underwater constructions, such as the Bermuda Triangle and the Mariana Trench, which is 7 miles below sea level. The Greek city of Palvapetri, which dates back 5,000 years, but was likely buried around 1000 BC, is only one example of a whole town that was discovered after being submerged. The oceans are also a great place to learn about how different species evolved. From the largest shark in history, the prehistoric megalodon, to the modern tube worms of the harsh deep-sea environment. Ocean exploration has proven that life on Earth has changed dramatically since it first began forming. The Arctic is enclosed by and drains into the Arctic Ocean, the world's northernmost ocean. With a surface size of only about 5.4 million square miles, it is the smallest ocean in the world. Nonetheless, it accounts for 4% of Earth's total surface area and is 1.5 times bigger than the United States. Average depth in the Arctic Ocean is 3,953 feet, with a maximum depth of 18,264 feet, making it the shallowest and least salty of the 5 ocean basins. This is primarily due to the region's low evaporation rate and the high volume of fresh water flowing in from nearby glaciers and rivers. River mouths, melting glaciers, and persistent ocean currents all contribute to the rich marine ecosystem of the Arctic Ocean. The Arctic Ocean remains mostly frozen throughout the year, but climate change is having a major impact on the region. Due to rising temperatures around the world, Arctic sea ice has been shrinking and becoming thinner. This has spurred interest in potential economic prospects, such as new shipping routes and access to untapped natural resources, in addition to generating worries about the consequences on the environment and potential geopolitical problems. Despite the harsh conditions under the ice, the Arctic marine environment is maintained by phytoplankton, the foundation of the food web. Through a process called photosynthesis, these microorganisms grow and transform light and nutrients into organic compounds. Both sunshine and nutrient availability, which are affected by seasonal shifts, and ice cover govern how long the phytoplankton bloom period lasts. Deep beneath the always frozen Arctic Ocean 2 years ago, giant sponges were discovered sprouting on the summits of dormant underwater volcanoes. Arctic sponges belonging to the order Geodia rely on eating the fossilized bones of extinct creatures to make it through the nutrient-poor environment. On Kabotius, a marine biologist at Germany's Max Planck Institute for Marine Microbiology and Alfred Wegener Institute explains why this environment is so special. He's sinking out of the sunlit zone, and so you're sinking through all blue colors. According to the 2016 head scientist aboard the Polar Stern and Icebreaker research vessel that also discovered the gigantic ice fish nest finding in the Antarctic, we have never seen anything like it before in the high central Arctic. They towed cameras on the Arctic journey so they could photograph the seafloor at Langseth Ridge, a submerged mountain range between 700 and 1,000 meters deep, not far from the North Pole. Their pictures revealed thriving marine ecosystems on the summits of dormant mountains. It was fascinating to learn this. Scientists have long known that sponges thrive in a wide variety of ocean environments, from warm tropical reefs to the frigid waters of Antarctica. They get their food by filtering it out of the seawater around them, which is rich in nutrients. However, surviving in the Arctic Ocean is difficult because that region of the ocean has been frozen over for so long. These geodious sponges live deep in the ocean, where there is little food that may float down to them. How do sponges survive then? To establish the age and feeding patterns of the sponges, Theresa Morganti, a sponge expert from the Max Planck Institute for Marine Microbiology, and a co-author of the paper, reviewed pictures and sponge tissue samples. Sponge lifespans average 300 years, and it turns out they host thriving bacterial communities. Morganti claims that our findings demonstrate that sponges contain microbial symbionts that can decompose dead organic stuff. This allows them to eat the protein and chitin-rich worm tubes and other debris that have become stranded on the seamounts from the extinct species who formerly lived there. According to research by Morganti and co-workers, many different types of sponges host a population of microorganisms that help maintain the sponges healthy by bringing nutrients from the surrounding water to the sponges, disposing of excretions, and producing antibiotics. Instead of using seawater for sustenance, these Arctic sponges can get what they need from organic molecules trapped in the mat on which they reside. The ecology from long ago is still present in this mat. Gases from subsea volcanic systems supported a much more diverse ecosystem, which was home to many species back thousands of years ago. Many items have disappeared since then, clearing the way for these unexpected sponge gardens. By deploying enzymes to break down the fossilized remains of the gone ecosystem and deliver nutrients to their sponge host, the microbes on the sponges may effectively utilize the fossilized remains according to microbial study. Bacteria have a tool set perfectly suited to this setting. Bacteria can get what they need from the inert particulate and dissolved organic components, including carbon and nitrogen, and a range of chemical energy sources. Elon Musk and other experts say that as the climate changes and the Arctic sea ice quickly disappears, this kind of research is crucial for the goal of preserving and managing the specific diversity of these under-pressure Arctic seas. We need to learn more about the ecosystems that thrive in these places. Conversely, NASA-funded scientists have uncovered a massive algae bloom flourishing beneath the Arctic's thick ice, forever altering our understanding of the region's ecosystems. NASA scientists are comparing the latest biological discoveries in the Arctic Ocean to discovering a rainforest in the middle of a desert. Phytoplankton microscopic plants are flourishing beneath the melting Arctic ice. The researchers claim that the Arctic Ocean may currently be home to more phytoplankton growth than any other ocean region on Earth. Findings show a brand new effect of the Arctic's warming temperature and help researchers greatly comprehend how climate change and environmental changes impact the Arctic Ocean and its living things. Ocean biogeochemistry, ecology, and environmental scientists drilled through 3 feet of sea ice to learn more about the effects of climate change in the Arctic. Scientists found that phytoplankton were extremely active, reproducing at a rate of more than once per day. When it comes to open water, however, bloom development is significantly more gradual. The population only doubles every 2 to 3 days. When it comes to cold water, these growth rates are some of the highest ever recorded. When summer sea ice melts, it's assumed that the Arctic Ocean's phytoplankton blooms. Blooms were spotted beneath the ice from the sea ice's edge to a depth of 72 kilometers inside the ice pack. By studying ocean currents, scientists were able to determine that these blooms did not originate in the open ocean, where phytoplankton concentrations can be high, but rather originated under the ice. Sea ice was originally thought to block out the majority of the sunlight needed for phytoplankton growth. It is now widely accepted by scientists that melting Arctic ice is letting sunlight to the waters beneath the sea ice, leading to the growth of plants in previously unsuitable environments. Phytoplankton are the foundation of the marine food web and a major carbon dioxide sink. If the under-ice blooms turn out to be regular, scientists will need to re-evaluate the amount of carbon dioxide emitted by biological activity into the Arctic Ocean. It is currently unknown whether or if these massive phytoplankton blooms are new occurrences or have been happening in the Arctic for a while, and we just haven't observed them. These blooms may spread further in the future, however. if Arctic sea ice continues to recede. Migratory animals like whales and birds are a part of the Arctic ecosystem, and the discovery of these hitherto unknown under ice blooms has implications for the entire system. Small ocean animals devour phytoplankton, which is ultimately ingested by larger fish and ocean species. A change in the timing of the blooms could have negative consequences for larger animals that ingest phytoplankton or the species that eat these microorganisms. Migratory species may have a harder time timing their life cycles to be in the Arctic during the bloom's height. If their food supply arrives too soon, they may be too late. Researchers say that their find could have big impacts on the global carbon cycle and the energy balance of the oceans. They may also need to change their ideas about how the Arctic works and its role in the Earth system. After finding a record amount of plastic trapped in Arctic sea ice, scientists are concerned about the effects of plastic pollution on human health and marine life. Up to 12,000 pieces of microplastic particles per liter of sea ice were found in core samples obtained from 5 sites during expeditions to the Arctic Ocean, which is up to 3 times higher than levels found in previous research. The Helmholtz Center for Polar and Marine Research at the Alfred Wegener Institute found fragments of packaging, paints, nylon, polyester, and cellulose acetate often used to produce cigarette filters in every sample they collected in 2014 and 2015. Experts have cautioned that plastic pollution might cause near-permanent contamination of the Earth, and these discoveries come at a time of rising concern about this issue. Several times more concentrated than the massive Pacific garbage patch, the Arctic is a major global sink for plastic trash. It is estimated that during the previous few decades, at least 1 trillion pieces of plastic have become permanently embedded in the Arctic ice. Dr. Gunnar Gertz, whose lab took the readings, claims the problem is much more severe than previously thought because some of the particles were only 11 micrometers in size. That explains why we detected concentrations of more than 12,000 particles per liter of sea ice, which is 2 to 3 times more than what we'd seen in previous measurements and is around 1/6 the diameter of a human hair. The study not only found a record amount of plastic, but it also identified its likely sources, which ranged from degraded fishing gear to plastic pollution carried by ocean currents for thousands of kilometers. One of the study's authors, Dr. Elke Pekin, argues that the high quantities of microplastic in the sea ice cannot be attributed solely to sources outside of the Arctic Ocean. Instead, they draw attention to Arctic regional pollution. The researchers stressed that it was uncertain what consequences this level of plastic pollution would have on human health and marine life. Marine plastic pollution is a serious problem because there are currently an estimated 5 trillion pieces of plastic in the world's oceans. Plastic is often mistaken for food by fish and birds, leading to the contamination of marine life and ultimately the human food chain. The latest analysis found unprecedented levels of polyethylene in an area thought to be the garbage patch's birthplace in the Pacific Ocean. Large amounts of nylon and paint particles were found in another, indicating an increase in shipping and fishing. The study also showed that a large mechanism for transferring plastic particles across the region has formed as a result of the amount of plastic that is currently trapped in Arctic sea ice, which moves and melts. This finding suggests that microplastics are currently abundant in the world's oceans. The truth is nowhere as secure. However, Antarctica has been of interest to us for a long time. From the early 1800s, famed first explorers, to today's daring scientists, the mysteries of Antarctica's icy plains have captivated us. As the planet's final wilderness, Antarctica has a reputation for keeping its secrets close to the chest. Antarctica is an inhospitable place due to its terrible weather, cold temperatures, and barren landscape. The ice-covered continent is roughly 1.5 times the size of the United States and is completely covered in ice, accounting for 90% of the ice on Earth. In spite of this, explorers have persisted to study the immense white continent, revealing its most interesting mysteries. Researchers have discovered a number of subterranean lakes in Antarctica despite the fact that it is difficult to imagine anything existing beneath the enormous glaciers. Radars initially uncovered the places in question in the 1970s, and now scientists believe that there are 400 lakes hidden beneath 3 kilometers of ice there. Antarctica's separation from the former supercontinent Gondwanaland is responsible for the formation of the lakes, according to geologists. The weight of the ice sheets keeps the lakes from freezing over. Lake Vostok, the largest subglacial lake in Antarctica, was discovered by Russian geologists in the 1990s. It is the 3rd largest lake in the world. and is located 3.5 kilometers below the ice. Even though the lake was covered by ice more than 20 million years ago, scientists have since drilled deep holes into the ice to extract samples of the water. A temperature of roughly -3 degrees Celsius was measured from a single sample. Another big find that altered the course of science was made in 2014 at Lake Whillans, which is located approximately a kilometer below the ice sheet. Amazingly, these organisms have survived for millions of years without ever seeing the light of day or breathing fresh air. Instead, they rely on methane and ammonia for growth energy. There are bacteria, viruses, giant squid, crabs the size of dinner plates, long lanky spiders the size of dinner plates, and big golden bristled sharp-jawed worms. Even ice fish are see-through in some cases. These weird creatures have big eyes and skin so thin you can see right through it to their internal organs. Fish with antifreeze glycoproteins would perish in warmer waters. They also lack hemoglobin, the pigment responsible for the red hue of human blood. Scientists have unearthed numerous fossils of dinosaurs, birds, and marine mammals from the Cretaceous period. Experts can't agree on what to make of the minuscule single-celled fossils they discovered amid the smaller species. In addition, we have the petrified remains of 4 wings from a beetle that lived in a warmer climate between 14 and 20 million years ago. They found 15-million-year-old sperm cells in the egg case of an extinct worm species. Scientists are hopeful that this astonishing find will provide new light on the process of evolution. Singing ice was discovered in Antarctica, and it was quite large. The Ross Ice Shelf is the largest ice shelf in Antarctica. It spans an area of more than 500,000 square kilometers, nearly the size of France, and is several hundred meters thick. Recent studies have shown that winds blowing across the Ross Ice Shelf snow dunes cause it to make a menacing musical sound. The winds cause tremors and an almost continual seismic tone. Since human hearing can't pick up on the vibrations, scientists utilize seismic sensors to listen to the sad tune. Seismic sensors had been placed on the ice shelf to observe other phenomena when the song was discovered by chance. Scientists have discovered since then that the melody shifts in response to weather changes like snowfall and thaw. They are using the song to keep an eye on the ice shelf in real time as they study how stable it is and how likely it is to break apart due to earthquake coming. There is still a lot of mystery down in Antarctica where no one has ever gone before. The vast white continent is the world's most perplexing and intriguing place. And despite the persistent efforts of scholars everywhere, we may never fully understand all of its mysteries. As we wrap up our journey today, a big thank you for joining us at Spaceverse. Your support fuels our cosmic exploration. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep exploring with us. Until our next cosmic encounter, see you.